Hi, this is Eric from longboxreview.com. Welcome to the show. Welcome to 2022, my first episode of the year, first new episode of the year, although it is the second episode I've recorded and the third prepared. Like you care about this behind the scenes production stuff, right? Anyway, I'm going to try something new, shake things up a little bit. I sort of shook things up a little bit at the end of last year with the introduction of the comic chat episodes, but I decided to break things out a little bit more and maybe be able to record shorter episodes and be able to get them out in a more timely fashion. And so that is why I have for you today what I'm calling spotlight episodes, where I'm going to spotlight some comic book news, some things from previews, and other things of interest to you, hopefully. In this case, it'll be a creator spotlight. So please let me know what you think of this new format. I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue doing this or if I will combine things. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. But what I'd like to do is just kind of shake things up a little bit. I've been doing that for the last year or two, I think. Just to make things a little more interesting for me personally, as I talk about one of my very favorite things on this planet, comic books, and things related to comic books, and maybe also for you. So please let me know. You can always email me at longboxreview@gmail.com to tell me what you think of this new format. So without any further ado, let's get into the comic book news. So first, the first bit of news that I'm going to spotlight is the death of the Justice League, coming up in Justice League number 75, which is, coincidentally, it will be, or not so coincidentally, it will be 30 years since the death of Superman in Superman issue number 75. So I'm sure, that was very, very well, very much planned out. But we have been given some cover images and a preview image here showing caskets for Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Aquaman. That's the caskets I see here. What I find more interesting about this bit of news, I mean, yeah, it's an event thing. It's a sales booster. Whatever. I don't really care about that stuff. Neither that they do it or the reaction to it. They'll bring these characters back. What I liked more was the reaction to that news, specifically from someone I follow on Twitter, Carol Ann from Carol Ann Talks Comics at Ann Comics, and I'll include a link to this in the show notes. But she posted some images of characters that she would like to see as a new Justice League, including Ice. I believe that's Johnny Quick, the Green Lantern from Far Sector. I don't remember her name. Dreamer, Supergirl, Nubia, Aqualad. And then other people were offering in response to this, which I really like these suggestions for Justice League membership. One person put in Superboy, or the new Superman, I guess. Ice again, Aqualad again, a Flash. I'm not sure which one it is. The costume looks like Barry Allen, but Black Canary, Plastic Man, Vixen, someone I don't recognize here, and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. So let's see here. So others, Supergirl again, Mary Marvel, that would be an interesting one. Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Aqualad. Aqualad's very popular among the people who have responded to this. Nightwing, of course, Steel, someone I can't quite see who that is in the picture. Oh, Adam. It's and Adam. Looks like the Ryan Choi Adam, perhaps. And who else here? The Green Arrow, the son of Ollie. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Anyway, so lots of really interesting reactions. Like I said, I'll have a link to Carol Ann's post here, and you can go check out some of these other things. But I'm curious, who would you like to see as a new Justice League? And so let me know that. before you ask, I don't know. I'm no good at these things. It's just fan casting, but there are a lot of characters in this thread that I, probably wouldn't have thought of. And so I much prefer to just react to other people's suggestions, rather than come up with some of my own. But I will say, I really love the idea of Supergirl, or Mary Marvel stepping in to fill like the Superman slot. And I like the idea. I think someone posted, Yara Flor, the new Wonder Girl, to take, Wonder Woman's spot, so things like that. Aqualad, sure. Why not? Have one of the younger Flashes, perhaps. So yeah, that would be really cool to see some of these younger heroes step into the light, the spotlight, as it were. So yeah, go check that out. Next bit of news I thought was interesting. The character of the Corinthian from the Sandman series, from Neil Gaiman's and other artists' Sandman series from a while ago, is returning in a new book called Nightmare Country, written by James Tynion. Let's see here. Does it list an artist? Yeah, Lissandro Estherin, I should say. Anyway, what's more interesting to me about this is that not so much that they're bringing back Corinthian, because Corinthian was a popular character even from the very beginning when I was reading Sandman originally. And I believe there's been 1 or 2 limited series or specials, one-shots, whatever, spotlighting or featuring, I should say, this character. What I find interesting, less so than the other one, but first is James Tynion coming back because he basically stopped working at DC to work on his Substack stuff, but he's coming back to do this. But more importantly, that they're doing more stuff in the Sandman universe. And I remember when the Sandman universe announcement was like, this is, I don't know, several years back. I don't remember how long ago it was. And it was a big deal. Neil Gaiman even came back and did some promotional material for it. And did he actually also write some stuff? I think so, maybe. Anyway, so that's interesting that they're still pushing Sandman, still expanding in a sense that universe. So that's kind of cool. Also cool is that Marvel is going to put out a second Moon Knight series. Who would ever thought that we would get 2 Moon Knight series? But what this is, I'm sure it's just to help promote or cross promote when the TV series debuts. But we're going to get a Moon Knight anthology. What do they call it here? Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. And so we're going to get some stuff from writer Jonathan Hickman and artist Chris Bachalo, Mark Guggenheim and Jorge Fornes, and Maria Ayudele and Doten Akanda. I hope I pronounced those correctly, or at least got close. But anyway, so we're going to get these 4 issues of this book. It says here, delving into the dark side of the Fist of Khonshu, as well as his potential replacement. What? So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to reading that, because I'm going to get the collected series one, or the collected edition once it is released, or maybe I'll just read it on Marvel Unlimited. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. Related, however, I also saw right after I saw this news about the Marvel or Moon Knight anthology, the actor Jasper Uliel. He was an actor on the TV series Moon Knight. He played Midnight Man. He died, unfortunately, in a skiing accident. Apparently, he collided with someone, or this other person collided with him. I don't know for sure, but this poor guy, dead at 37. And the TV show at the time of this recording has not debuted. So that's very bittersweet for this actor and his friends and family. Okay, so from the weird but true department, we get one of my favorite musical artist, Melissa Etheridge, is so weird to say this. She's coming out with a graphic novel called Heartstrings that is about her guitars and the stories relating to the guitars in her collection. So she said this collection is an immense collection. I'm not sure how many we're talking about here, but a collection that began when her father gave her first guitar when she was 8. And so she's going to tell these stories about her life in relation to these specific guitars. I don't know. It's a weird concept, but I'm very curious because, like I said, I really like this artist. Speaking of artists, this will be drawn by Manuela Pertega. So let's see. We'll focus on one specific guitar in each chapter, contextualized around Etheridge's storied career. Anyway, so if you're interested, like in the confluence of music and comic books, this might be right up your alley. And this is being published by Z2 Comics, who has also done other music-themed graphic novels in recent years, including ones on Elvis Presley, The Doors, Jason Derulo, really? Sorry, you Derulo fans, and Czarface, whom I have no idea who that is. So I'm so far out of music and what's cool and hip right now. Yeah, so there you go. I thought that was kind of funny to include. All right. Back to Marvel for a few things. Yeah, it's Marvel news heavy this time. We are going to have an Asgardian hero die in April's Thor number 750, which that's the legacy numbering. It's actually Thor number 24. So they're celebrating 60 years of Thor. And they're bringing back Walt Simonson. Jason Aaron will return for a story, I guess. And so, yeah. Let's see who else is on here. Dan Jurgens, J. Michael Straczynski, and Olivier Coipel. Al Ewing and Lee Garbett are going to do a Loki story. So, yeah, lots of really cool things. So, it's one of those big anniversary issues, big number. So 750, I guess I'll be buying that, even though I'm getting the current Donny Cates written Thor series in trade collections right now. So, all right. Next up in Marvel is relating to the character of Miracle Man. So Marvel, several years ago, once they acquired Miracle Man, they put out collections of the original series by Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman and Alan Davis, and I'm forgetting some of the other artists. Let's see here if they list those. Mark Buckingham and yeah, sorry, I don't have here. I know there are other artists involved. Anyway, so they put out some hardcover collections that I got. And they also did at least one annual, I think it was, or a special or something. Yeah, it was an annual, the all new Miracle Man annual. So I bought that. But what they're doing specifically here is that they are going to release an omnibus, which includes the issues that I mentioned. Although interesting. So so it includes material from Warrior from 1982, the Warrior magazine number 1 through 18, 20 through 21. The Miracle Man issues from 1985, which is the series that I collected, but it's only issues 1, 3, and then 6 through 16. That's interesting. Why not 2, 4, 5, and the rest? The Miracle Man special from 1984, which I don't know, or sorry, Marvel Man special. I don't think I've read that one. Material from a comic called A1 from 1989. And then the all-new Miracle Man annual from 2014. So if you're not familiar with Miracle Man, boy, you missed out. That was a fun comic book, bloody and dark, but wonderfully written, wonderfully executed by the writer and artists involved. So really good stuff. So who knows? Maybe after they do this, and they're apparently introducing Miracle Man into the Marvel Universe. He was teased at the end of last year's in Timeless number 1. And so maybe we'll get more Miracle Man stuff. And maybe they'll change his name back to Marvel Man, because that would be funny. But then, will Neil Gaiman return and complete his story that he started telling before the series was basically canceled? And finally, Marvel news-wise, Marvel is telling the story of Wolverine's whole life in chronological order in a new Marvel Unlimited Infinity comic, which is a digital-only release. That's coming out it's already, at the time of this recording, it's already out. Just a few days ago, they started with this. So yeah, you can go read it now. At least start reading it now. I'm not sure how many issues this is going to be. It looks like they're trying to debut these at the same time as the X Lives of Wolverine, which is a 10-issue series. So maybe that's what's going to happen. Anyway, there you go. If you are curious about Logan's life in chronological order, it's a fanboy's dream, right? Yeah. Okay, and then finally, I have interesting news. IDW is losing the G.I. Joe and Transformers licenses that they have at the end of this year, or sometime near the end of this year. It's curious because IDW has had those licenses respectively for 14 and 17 years. So that's a long time for a licensed property to be at a particular publisher. It is rumored that Robert Kirkman's Skybound imprint is going to be taking those on, but that's not official yet. And, more interestingly, what is IDW going to do? Are they going to replace those with other licenses? Is this, how big of a hit is this going to be to IDW? Because they're mostly known for their licensed comics. And so they got to fill those slots somehow, right? To pay the bills. Okay, that's it with the news. So next up is a spotlight on a creator. So this is spotlighting Joshua Kemble's book, 2 Stories. And so if you go to joshuakemble.com/2-stories, and there'll be a link in the show notes, but you can see some pages from the book. Anyway, Joshua had reached out to me, actually. Sorry, Josh. Over a year ago, and I've just been collecting these things, and I get to them when I can. Obviously not in a very timely manner, but I finally did. And when I took a look at the cover to this, the really intricately penciled or drawn, I should say, cover, and then I read the description of the book and what it's about, and basically what Joshua said about the fact that he drew it. It's hand drawn, hand lettered, hand something. I forget now what he said, but it's, he did everything. And I thought that was really cool. And like I said, if you go to that website link, you can see a few pages, and it's a very personal, I think he said somewhat autobiographical tale. And, it's just really interesting work here, including some, more like cartoony type drawings to illustrate certain passages, but then some really intricately detailed, more realistic drawings for looks like a much more emotional weight type of storytelling. So yeah, I'm very interested in this, and it's out now, and you can buy it at Amazon for less than $10 as of this recording. But here, let Joshua tell you about his book, 2 Stories.
Hi, I'm Joshua Kemble, and I'm the artist behind 2 Stories Book 1, which is out right now on Amazon from Marcosia Enterprises. It's a book that I spent a good amount of years creating, hand lettering, hand drawing, and hand inking every page with a lot of sincerity and care, because I thought the story was really important to tell. It's a story that speaks really openly about mental illness and mental health issues, which I find really not to be very common in the graphic novel medium. And it's also autobiographical, and that's kind of a hard sell for a lot of people. But I really have a strong belief that there are enough people out there who want to hear stories that speak openly about struggles with mental illness and with faith, that it can do well. And so I kind of I'm hoping that anybody who's watching this might check out the pages. You can even see like a very brief preview on quarterlystories.com, including a video that shows the whole of chapter 1. And also watch this trailer video. Hopefully just go to Amazon, order the book, and support indie comics. If you guys like independent comic books and you like comics that go a little bit beyond just the superhero story and sincere stories about faith and struggles with faith and mental illness, then please consider supporting this. And to all of those of you who've supported me throughout the creation of this, I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the book.
So yeah, like I said, this is now available at Amazon. You can get it digitally. Go check out the website. And I thought it was a really interesting book. All right. Now the spotlight on previews. And so I just have a few things from DC and Marvel, and then a couple DC, Marvel, Image, and then onesies from a few other publishers that I thought was interesting. All right, so let's do DC first. And on the DC Connect cover, it's spotlighting an epic new monthly series, Batman Superman World's Finest. And so I talked about this in a previous preview spotlight where Mark Waid and Dan Mora are coming together to do these characters, these World's Finest characters, but it was debuting in a Detective Comics issue. But now we're getting a monthly series by these two, and it just looks fantastic. There are some preview images here, some covers. They have some alternate covers. That meme where Batman is slapping Robin and basically people just put in whatever, some funny quip or whatever. I really abhor the fact that it's so popular that Batman is slapping Robin. But what they have here is a play on that with Superman slapping Batman. Batman saying, "Hey, Superman, looking forward to the first issue of Batman and It's Superman Batman World's Finest," Superman says as he's slapping. And then the reverse is true. Batman slapping Superman, stressing the Batman part of it. Anyway, this just looks like a lot of fun, and I'm breaking my usual habit of waiting for the trade, and I'll be getting this in single issues. All right, and I talked about this with the DC All-Stars crew when during DC Fandom, they talked about the Trial of the Amazons. I think that's when it was. It's been a while now. Anyway, so there is, I'm pretty sure that was it. Trial of the Amazons, which is the first Wonder Woman crossover event, they're saying. And so it has Trial of the Amazons number 1 and 2, so bookends, and then we got Nubia and the Amazons number 6, Wonder Woman 785, Trial of the Amazons Wonder Girl 2-issue thing as well. So we get, what is that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 issues. So a nice trade collection once it comes out. But you get this Wonder Woman crossover, which I find interesting. Anyway, and then finally in DC, another bookend storyline. So they have this War for Earth 3, like I said, 2 issues. That's a bookend. And then so it's a 5-part weekly event. And it features the Teen Titans, the Flash, and the Suicide Squad going to Earth 3 for various reasons. And then it also features Suicide Squad 13, Flash 780, Teen Titans Academy 13. So there's your 6 issues altogether. 5 issues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can count. But it's also interesting because they have a 5-part connecting covers by Rafa Sandoval. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, which I actually am, Earth 3 is a fun concept. The Suicide Squad's a fun concept. I love the Teen Titans, so and it also features Peacemaker. Of course it does. Okay. That's DC. On to Marvel. A few things from Marvel. First off, so, here in the last several months of publishing time, Marvel has been promoting the death of Doctor Strange, and here we get in Marvel previews, Strange #1 by Marcelo Ferreira and Jed MacKay, but it's a new Sorcerer Supreme rises, it says, but it's Sorceress because it's Clea as the new Sorcerer Supreme. God, that's hard to say for some reason. 40 pages for $5. So I noticed that there's a lot of new books that are $5 and $6. New #1s. So apparently $4.99 is the new $3.99. I don't know. Anyway, but this the cover by Bjorn Behrens that they're showing is really, really awesome. I think I might want to get that just for the cover. That is really cool. All right, and next up is something I'm sure I've seen these Demon Days issues in Marvel previews before, and I just kind of, I don't know, skipped over them. But for some reason, when I got to this collection, Demon Days Treasury Edition, I stopped and looked at this because the cover that they have here for this collection by Peach Momoko is fantastic. And so all of this says here, acclaimed artist Peach Momoko, whom I am not familiar with, reimagines the Marvel Universe. So it collects Demon Days X-Men, Mariko, Cursed Web, Rising Storm, and Blood Feud with material from King in Black #4. But it's all written, penciled, cover, Peach Momoko. Just looks really interesting. And then finally, I've already read issue #1 of this on Marvel Unlimited, but based on that first issue, I declared publicly, but told myself I'm getting this in trade. After reading just one issue, actually, after only reading just a few pages, I'm like, this is awesome. This is Defenders. There Are No Rules trade by Javier Rodriguez and Al Ewing. Collects the first 5 issues of the series, and I can't wait to read all of these in the trade collection. So there you go, Marvel DC, and now on to Image. Okay, first up is the Astro City Special. That was then. It's a one-shot by Brett Anderson, Alex Sinclair, and Kurt Busiek. And it's setting up the new status quo, if you will, of Astro City back at Image Comics. So I'll be getting that, and let's see. It also it's something that is near and dear to my heart because the story is about who were the Jayhawks. How did they inspire 5 teen sidekicks looking for answers to hit the road in a rickety crime-mobile in 1969? So this is basically Busiek's take on the Teen Titans from the 60s. So I got to get this. Even if I wanted this in a trade collection or something, I got to get this issue and read it. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to more Astro City. And then, because I loved Radiant Black so much, and I talked about that on a previous, I think, pull list review, there's a character in there, Radiant Red, and I wasn't sure if they were going to refer to the characters like that, Radiant whatever color, and apparently they are, or it's something I missed in the book. So anyway, they're doing a miniseries on that character by David LaFuente and Cheris Chen. So if you are a Radiant Black fan, there you go. There's more in the universe. I'm glad to see that they're expanding that. And then finally, a new Reckless book, the 4th Reckless book, The Ghost in You by Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. And I realized that I haven't read the first 3. They're sitting on my shelf, and I had them. I realized actually this morning, right before I was recording, I realized that I had them on my bookshelf alphabetically, and when I realized that they're doing the 4th one, and I don't know if these are, I honestly don't know if these are like connected, like if one leads to the other. I just bought them because they're by Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. I honestly don't even know what they're about. I just bought them because they've never disappointed me. and I'm always entertained by their stories. So I pulled them out of the where they're in their slots on the bookshelf and put them together in order. So I'm going to start reading those soon. All right, moving on to Dark Horse. I just this is the trade paperback collecting the Stone King story by Tyler Crook and Kel McDonald, and I basically just I love this cover or this image from the issue of this giant stone golem walking and somebody following. But this is a Comixology original series, and so looks pretty cool. It says here, when you become an adult, you have to prove yourself. At least that's how it works for the Stoneport thieves. But what Av thought would buy her a ticket to adventure and better life brings disaster instead. Now her home is in danger, and fixing her mistakes is the city's only hope. I don't know. It just looks interesting to me. Next up is a book that I've been following along in previews and waiting for the trade collection to be solicited. And this is Maria Lovett's Porcelain. And so I've read Maria Lovett's Faithless, not her other books, but definitely Faithless, just volume 1. I have volume 2. Anyway, I've been noticing the covers to these, and it just looks gorgeous. And the story sounds interesting too. It says Beryl's life in the desert, living with her aunt and her cat, is relatively simple until the day she finds and enters the dollhouse. Stuck inside an ever-changing mystery house that hunts children and turns them into dolls, Beryl goes on a psychedelic journey where she must face the notion of her own limitations and move past them before she becomes the building's newest prey. So yeah, Maria Lovett's doing it all, writer, artist, and it sounds interesting. So I will be getting that. And then finally, I have been sort of following along in the press, so to speak, because the idea of the series Black and White from Black Mask Studios, the idea of it just sounds really cool. So this is collecting the series White by Jamal Igle and Kwanzaa Osayefo. And let's see here. The team that asked, what if only Black people had superpowers, is back with the sequel to the critically acclaimed series Black. It's been 3 years since the world learned only Black people have superhuman abilities, and the United States has responded by electing Theodore Mann to the presidency. The only person standing in the way of his policies to control empowered Blacks are Kareem Jenkins and his allies. I can't think of a more thinly veiled metaphor for recent times. So I'm very curious how this story is going to go. All right, that is all I have for my new Spotlight series for news previews and other things, hopefully of interest to you. So we'll see what happens in future Spotlights. I'll continue to do news and previews provided I get my previews stuff in time, and see what other things I want to spotlight down the road. There'll be more creators for a while, potentially, but I'm thinking of some other things. If there are specific things you would like me to spotlight, please let me know. You can email me at longboxreview@gmail.com. You can also contact me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram at longboxreview. And with that, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.